All right, so as you guys can see, I'm in a long right now. I had my partials right up here to these relative equal highs on ES. So what I would do, since I'm in a long, I want to do a limit sell for amount of contracts that I want to be out. So usually for my TP1, I want to try and at least take a good amount of contracts, sell those, and then have these last two contracts as like a little trail. We do have a 15-minute imbalance right up here, and I tried and see if I can line up my standard deviation. As you can see, we had a type of consolidation, manipulation down, and we started to distribute all the way back up. As we distribute all the way back up, you set up your equilibrium. Um, on equilibrium, we had a fair value gap down, or actually a 1 minute BPR in the equilibrium. So I wanted equilibrium to get tapped in, but I also noticed we had a PD array, low time frame PD array that I want to get tapped in as well. So as you guys can see, um, so far so good. Um, so why I took this trade is one, we've been having an insane bull run as of right now. I want to see want to see price have a continuation with our higher time frames. The one thing that I'm a little bit hesitant on is we have this hourly fair value gap right here. Hopefully we disrespected it at first and then we start respecting it again, or we respected it but we created these equal highs, which makes me think that it was just a small fake out. Like this entire leg down was to fake everything out. So that's why I'm in longs right now. Seems like price is just being a little bit weird now. All I'm doing is just following order flow to see if we are. Um, I want us to close about this 5 minutes order block. Price is just being weird. All these candles are wicks on a higher time frame. So everything above this red line is just wicks on a higher time frame, as you guys can see. But we had a 15-minute imbalance. We tapped into it. We created our small 1 minute SMT. Hopefully this thing holds a little bit, or give me the confidence to know that this is a protected low. Usually my ES chart would look a little bit weird, like as you guys can see right here. You guys would consider this as a 1 minute relative equal lows, equal highs. It's just that it's weird. I don't know why my ES chart does this, but like right here, if this starts to go up and closes above, we need to fill back into this um, little open range in this area. So, but my NQ chart doesn't really do that for some reason. If you guys know what I mean, it's just we're creating candles without wicks. So I can't tell what is really equal highs or lows or not. But how I know for this one is you can clearly see our equal highs on these high time frames, which is why I have three sell limits. Once TP hits, I'll go to break even and see if I can trail all the way up here. It's my final TP. As you guys can see, on the lower time frame, we're filling in this little wick area. If we can close above it, that will give me everything I need, and hopefully we can have a continuation a little bit more upwards. But like I said, on the 5 minute, we have 3 minutes. I want us to close above. We're just fucking chopping around in our 1 hour for value gap right now, which I kind of don't want to see, but we do have this 15-minute imbalance right above here that hasn't been tapped in. If we have these high time frame equal highs up here, um, I would assume we would have a slight reaction. So if we have our hourly fair value gap in this area, and we're just chopping around on ES, but on NQ we're clearly still having the lead. I just want this to be yeah, hopefully we don't I don't know. As of right now it seems like we do have this SMT. London already swept these though, so yeah, no. I wouldn't count London as SMTs. To be honest, I'd like to see ES end up sweeping um, London highs right up here, but I'm not targeting that. I'm just going for a quick 1 to 1, 1 to 0.5. We might have created equal lows down here though. So if we end up sweeping these relative equal highs, we might just end up flipping back down, having a reaction, sweeping this, end up hitting TP possibly up here. But NQ is just skyrocketing right now. This is a de-risk trade, so it wouldn't really bother me if I end up losing this. But I'm invested in Robinhood right now. So Robinhood, shit, we're creating more equal lows down at this bottom. Shit, I don't even know now. But my TP was just about to get hit. I don't even know if I want to trail, to be honest. I wish I can change these colors. Get rid of red and green. But anyways, I'm investing in Robinhood. Bro, fucking this shit's going crazy. Don't tell me we create another low, equal low. Um, uh, Robinhood hit 100 shares, $100 per share, 146 cents, 10:35 a.m. It's now at 98, 99, $99. A little bit of a sell, I guess. But I'm in this a lot more long term, so I'm up 155% on this shit, bro. This might be a losing trade because we're coming into like 11 midday. I don't trade this time. I don't trade this time at all. I want us to just respect equilibrium. We were doing good at first. Now it's just this fucking 5-minute candle that's throwing me off a little bit. 30 seconds on this candle now. And we, of course, created another equal low. Let me check on my other chart to see if these actually are equal lows. Yeah, this is an equal low. Price is so bad right now. So bad. But for those of you that were in, that checked out my one recent YouTube video about how to take a trade, how to like actually set your limit or market orders, and then how to take partials. Right now, I set up a limit order. It was right here. I right click it and did a limit by whatever contracts you're interested in for your risk management. As you can see, I put in 5 contracts. What I wanted to do is I see that we have these equal highs up here, so I did a limit sell for a certain amount of contracts that I want to sell once price ends up hitting into that. Um, but we're not even like forming any fair value gaps at this point. We're just going liquidity to liquidity on lower time frames. But yeah, you would seek limit sells for if you're in a long. Um, and if you were in a short, you would seek limit buys for that as well. For partials. Oh my god. If we didn't create this equal low again, this is a good reaction, I guess, on a lower time frame, but same thing on the 5 minute. I just want us to close above basically where I entered. Might have to pull out the trend lines because it's getting to that point. And usually, what? if anything. Like people who use trend lines, I mean, whatever works works, I guess for you. But like think of that shit as like a joke, to be honest. But I did notice with crypto and some options on daily time frames and whatnot, people actually use it as a strategy. And it seems to actually work in the case. 'Cause I've seen it on NQ. We start forming this type of shit, you know, higher highs, lower lows, etc. Um, and it just gets in a super tight range, and then we would have like some type of manipulation out, and then uh distribute upwards or something, or that breakage you enter off a fair value gap, the first presented fair value gap out of this low consolidation range. And usually a continuation happens after that, so it's pretty weird. So on NQ we're like forming at a higher uptrend, um, but on ES we're just creating a tight range. Yeah, I mean this seems fine, I guess. This trade seems fine. We have our SMTs down here. Like a little multiple SMTs. So far, I respected this 15-minute PD ray on ES. The only thing is that we're just chopping around. We can't close above this 1 hour fair value gap that price is in right now. I want us to break out of it and head towards this 15-minute imbalance. If NQ is already disrespecting PD rays and sweeping out liquidity, I want to see ES at least fill out these imbalances. Because of how high up NQ is, I want to see ES actually sweep this out, and instead of forming um, never mind, we don't have any more liquidities resting above. I think this is all-time highs right up here. Yeah, this is all-time highs. Yeah. So I don't, because NQ is like actually really far away. Hold on, it's loading. I hate when this does this. Like has a little freeze. Um, NQ yesterday took a really big dump. Um, so it is like the lagging pair. It was it's weird though. Back and forth of which pair is lagging or not. Bro, why did this shit freeze up? So NQ, we still have all this liquidity up here. Yes, there is no liquidity, only imbalance. So in 3 minutes, if we can close above this, then hopefully this trade isn't taking so long. Because of the lack of volatility that we have during this time, usually everything is just a lot more slower. Obviously, if you take a look on NQ, this is the volatility we had from 9:30 right here. It took us an hour. I'm on micros, so it's a little bit less ticks, but it was a pretty big move in less than an hour. A lot of people FOMO'd from this trade. I just watched. There's nothing I could do. No entries right here. There was no SMTs. The only time we formed a SMT is where I'm at right now, but it's a little bit of a lower time frame SMT, I think. But right here, taking a look on NQ, for pre-market, this is where I was gonna enter. I didn't enter because I didn't see this 4-hour SMT we had here. Apparently, I marked out right here, we swept liquidity, and I don't take trades off of just simply sweeping liquidity. I want to see a SMT. Because usually if we have a liquidity that was swept on a higher time frame, yes, I would say it works, but on a lower time frame, we would end up re-sweeping that liquidity again. So a low trend line work. Um, but because it's pre-market, usually pre-market has heavy volatility, which can cause like a slight manipulation. But as you can see, of course, we didn't have that, which kind of a little bit makes sense to me. Um, reason why is because we have this high time frame SMT. Of course, all the volatility is just going to go upwards. We're respecting this 5-minute fair value gap on ES and NQ. ES was giving me a less risk trade, and if anything, I probably would have just target 815. Okay, so we did have equal highs up here. Data highs right up here. 815 we had, what was it, PMI, non-farm news. Um, so that was going to be my drawn liquidity on NQ, but this would have gave me a better risk because we had a 1-minute fair value gap at the CE point of the 5-minute. I want to see CE points get respected when it comes to inverse fair value gaps. So that's how I know it gives me a little bit more confirmation that we end up filling more orders in this fair value gap, depending on the time frame it was at. But uh, NQ just really wanted to bounce up, so we weren't going any lower. We didn't have any other lower time frame imbalances. It was a little bit more up here, so I would have set my stop loss either at the bottom of the 5-minute or this liquidity mark right here, or I could have done it right here, but I don't want to risk that much at that point. ES was giving me just a better risk, a smaller stop loss, but this would have been my stop loss for NQ. Would have entered, used the market open as the volatility that I need. We had London highs up here and data highs. We had 8:30. There was going to be a perfect trade, in my opinion. Everything that I do with uh, I don't even know what to call it. Certain time from candles. Like this is market open or 4-hour open. Opening candles is what we use as a confluence with everything. But this would have been an A plus setup. A plus setup right here, and I flanked it because of I didn't mark this SMT. If I realized we had an SMT, my bias was longs for New York, but I just didn't see that SMT. It was fucking clear draw. I only marked out a liquidity sweep and a negative 2.5 we were respecting. So, and looking above, we had London high and then etc. These times, and then all this liquidity, all this resting buy side liquidity above us. So it was a clear, very, very obvious that we were going to be longs today. It's just that I didn't take that entry, unfortunately. Kind of bummed out. I am, but not really, to be honest. Doesn't matter now. Usually with this type of consolidation, I would have just closed the trade. I just want to see how price reacts once we sweep this. So now we create our fair value gap or lower time frame fair value gap after breaking, I guess you guys can say, a little trend line. So if you guys trade with trend lines or support and resistance or supply and demand, whatever you guys want to call it, where there's like a ceiling and what do they call it? I forgot. I don't trade retail. I use ICT concepts. But this can be ideally, since we have a fair value gap that's getting respected right now, um, we can use this as support, and the hourly fair value gap that we're just consolidating in, we can use that as the highest. What was it? Support and resistance. This trade is taking way too long. Way, way too long. That's why I'm just going for a 1-to-1. So we might be creating another S&T down here. Holy chop, I can't believe I got stuck in this. Just take me from this 15-minute fair value gap to the other 15-minute. That's all I want. Like, what are these wicks, guys? I might close trade because we're creating a SMT. It's like the 4-hour time frame doesn't work on NQ anymore. I'm probably just gonna close this trade. Oh, fuck. On an hourly time frame, I know this is a little bit weird looking at how close these candles are, but NQ doesn't look solid. I don't even think I have a standard deviation set up. So it seems like just a little drawdown. Unless this is marked correctly. Consolidate, manipulate, distribute. Then you set up your standard deviation on whatever time frame the AMD or PO3 looks the cleanest, or whatever time frame you can get at the low. Like that didn't work. It had a small reaction on a 1 minute, but we still had more liquidity above. trend is your friend on a higher time frame, but when you're stuck in a trend on a lower time frame, holy emotions. Fuck. This is ass, bro. Can we just hit my fucking TP1? And then if we just draw back down again, then I'll close the entire trade. So this trailing doesn't do anything. Now there's no more imbalances. Well, there's this one. I guess there's this one. There's a little BPR. Can we just break this already? Or re-sweep liquidity, forming our actual SMT on these time frames. I want to see a SMT get formed from ES and NQ. And where this little small SMT is at would be our sell side liquidity target. I'm just going to keep on getting edged. This is actually like the worst trade I've ever been in. But if you guys want to think about it, since we have this 15-minute value gap above us, just think of it as like a magnet. Don't make me pull out the magnet. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. I think that's how it goes. Selling dope. Imagine I just closed it.
Order filled. Order filled.
I'm done. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. We created our SMT now that I said we were. If it holds, that's a big if, as you guys can see. Actually, I can't even tell on this really. Small profit for today. I saw what price was doing, especially on NQ. But so here's the thing, because of pre-market usually slows down, it's creating liquidity or doing something respecting, disrespecting PD raise. That's what will give you a direction for your buys. But because of New York Open, we would open, have some type of manipulation down. For those of you that know or mark out your New York opening for like a small Judah swing, um, if you know, you know, I guess. Looks like I think I had my TP. Yeah, my final TP was up here, so I just want this 15-minute CE to get tapped into. And it depends. I should have trailed my stop, to be honest, but I'm not fucking waiting for that shit. I'm done. Then we have this imbalance right here. um, but anyways, going back to NQ, I didn't take this trade because pre-market, I thought I was gonna get stopped out if I put my stop loss down to here. If I wanted to be really safe, which I didn't really want to for this trade, especially at that specific time, um, I would have done exactly at the SMT that we formed out. But 200 ticks, yeah, I'm not, would have made like a couple bucks targeting this. So for a simple 1 to 3 almost. So there's our reaction after hitting CE on a lower time frame. Now it looks like we're creating our SMT, but I don't think we're gonna hit all-time highs on ES because the NQ is really lagging now after seeing everything. So fuck, I keep on getting carried away. But if I were to enter this trade because of pre-market, I would have de-risked. It would have been a de-risk trade, but uh, a thumbs up for making an attempt on seeing your strategy, your edge. So, but yeah, that is all for today, guys. I promised I was going to show you guys an example on how to do an entry on TopStep X and how to take profits with everything. I'll catch you guys in the next video.